Right. So, welcome to the video today. We've got Cram on with us as usual. We're going to be talking about the top three things that you can do to help your guild and also show that not everybody is a good guildmate and just talk about what you can do to improve and what you can't do at the same time. So, say hello.
Hey, thanks, Womp. Hey, everybody. Appreciate you having me on here today. We're going to talk about some things that I see as a recruiter in a guild that I think I would recommend to someone who's looking to maybe be a better guild mate. And these are things that are going to kind of generally help your account as well. They're things that I really haven't heard necessarily in other videos, so I'm hoping these things are fresh here. Womp, however you want to do this, we can jump right in at number one.
Yep.
Um, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say the number one thing that I would like to see from guildmates is make your good teams good.
Yep.
One of the things that I see a lot in its early to mid game accounts, and that's kind of where we fall, in that like 3 to 7 mil range, is you have a lot of teams where maybe you have one or two characters relict, and then you've got some G12 characters.
Yep.
Now, those teams might help you, and they might be good for you in the earlier tiers of GAC and other things that you're working on. As far as a guild goes, though, we're pretty competitive in territory wars, territory battles. We're doing rote now, so those G12 characters are not helping your guild.
Yeah.
If you throw a team, maybe with one or two key characters relics and then some G12s, and you try to throw that on the front wall, that's going to get one shot every time. So if you want to be a good guildmate, even if you have a smaller account, investing in a full team, doing the key zetas, and then modding those teams properly goes a lot further than having one team or 8 teams for that matter with full of G12 characters that are never going to win you a battle in territory war or hold up on defense. What do you think about that, Womp?
I agree. I actually really agree with that one. Now, I'm just showing my top two teams here. As we know, my Ray team is an absolute monster. People do not like it. I've had messages from people that are facing me in GAC saying, "Oh well, I'm reporting you because your Ray is cheating." My Ray doesn't have her ultimate. She's fat. She's really fat. And I mean to the stage of this isn't even my fat set mod that goes on her. I am 250,000 health with the other mod. And it just means she's so fat in defense that people can't grind through her. She hasn't got all the bits yet because there is bits that I need to swap out to make this team even harder to deal with. But I do agree, once you've got those 2 or 3 teams that are good for the guild, again, Kylo Ren on Mass Team, we've talked about this on stream, it's a good, strong little team. But having the right Zetas, having the right relics, getting them up to speed. Same with Troopers, if you're going to do them well. The same with Night Sisters. If you're going to do them for the guild, do them well. Don't just waste on the one or two you need, like with Phoenix. Get Rex up now. Phoenix, if you've got them all, you need Hera at R5, you need the Zeta and Armiana for TW, you may as well take Rex up with them. It's finish off those little bits. Again, Zori. With most of us hit Lightspeed bundles, this team without the right, you need to stop. Get down. Sorry, I'm getting a cat attack, guys. Um, so without Finn's Zeta, this team doesn't work. Without Zori's Zeta, the team doesn't work. So if you're planning on putting it on defense for TW or for GAC, this is really a team to focus on, and you need to go.
Yep.
I need the relics on Zori, which is why I'm farming her up. But you also need the Zetas, the armies. You've got to focus on what each team needs. And it might mean, like in my case, Han has not got his Zeta because he's not as important to me right now as other things for the guild. And that's how you've got to be a good guild mate. Is it's like this team is coming along. The second that I've got Droidica to 7, he'll get his army. All these will start getting geared. And again, Starkiller, EP, EP, and Mara. Mara with her TW makes a absolutely amazing guild piece of gear. She's
Right.
deadly. She's dirty. Yeah, you can't say no, sort of thing.
Yeah, and having those big teams isn't just for your guild. That's going to be good for you in GAC as well, because it's real easy to get through those half-built teams. The teams don't work properly. If they're not modded properly, you can outspeed things and beat them. So focus on your best teams and just make them as good as you possibly can. It's going to help you in GAC. It's going to help your guild in Territory War as well. Build that top end. It'll help you all around.
Totally
Uh,
agree.
yeah, and the next thing I was going to say here is if your guild has a focus, whether that's a specific team they want to build for a territory war wall or a special mission they want to focus on in rote, it's okay as a guild officer. I see this all the time. People want to finish their farms, um, but I like to see when people are willing to bump those up the list a little bit more. So what I mean by that is when maybe I'm talking to a recruit or something, and we say, Jedi Knight Cal, that mission's going to be important for us on route, and they say, yeah, of course I'll do that. I'm for the guild, but I'll do that after I finish my executor farm, and then after I finish my next 8 GLs. As a guild officer, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, that's 3 years down the line.
Yeah.
So think about that, especially you see a lot of people who are maybe getting into guilds they have no business being in, and that's just kind of the state of the game that we're in now. The gap between players who have been playing for a while and players coming into the game is so wide that if you are someone with a 3 mil account who's maybe a little bit more focused, you can get into those guilds doing rogue. They'll accept you as long as you're active and willing to participate and get your tickets, do those things. Um, when you get into those guilds, it's important to think about how you're going to give back to the guild as well.
Yeah, I agree there. It's like for our guild at the moment, we don't have any force farms. We turned around, we made the decision where we're not going to force anybody to do a singular farm that they don't want. I took I think it was a week between me actually starting to do it and putting it out, and we said, right, what is going to be best for you as a player and us as a guild overall? And it's either going to be, can we all start farming Inquisitors as soon as? If you'll notice, obviously that message may not have gone out because I looked at it and I went, well, Cal and Seer is the bare minimum you need to unlock the new planet. That gives Kairos. If that's giving Kairos, that's accelerating Inquisitors. And it works out so much better to just farm Cal Kestis, Seer, the only two you need to unlock the planet, and then whatever you need on the planet, we just bodge away. We just get to that first star. And it's a bit more a case of these to unlock a planet, it's 2 characters. Yes, I worked it out. It's something like 12 Kairos between them. Who cares? Yeah, it might mean you're a week extra on getting to SLKR or a week extra getting your C. Okay, but now you've done something for the guild that helps pay off for you, and now you're getting to the stage of you're getting stuff back. So you unlock Braca. All of a sudden, you've unlocked Braca, or is it Zepho? One of them. You unlock one of them, and all of a sudden, you're getting Cairo. Every twice a month, you're getting 25 Cairo for nothing. You might get your 50 Cairo, but it's 25 of each. But that's on top. And all of a sudden, once a month now, you're able to do one on Fifth Brother that you couldn't do, or one on Asajj that you couldn't do. It might be that you've got that, and then you go, okay, now we're going to work on Inquisitors. It will massively accelerate your Inquisitor farm. And there's the difference. It's accelerating at a later date by doing little things now that the guild ask. It may be that you say, oh, well, why have I got to focus on Seer? Or why have I got to focus on SLKR? And it's like, because at the end of the day, as a guild, we've sat down, we've worked it out. Somebody has spent the time to go, this is what's good. This is what we need.
And to kind of quote to go along with that, I think everybody wants to be in a good guild, but not everybody wants to do good guild things.
Yeah. So, in regards to that, Cram already knows this. I'm going to show it. So, our guild does do Geonosians territory battles. Because my account is too young, I don't have them. This is a 7-month-old account. Well, 8 now. An 8-month-old account. I could spend my time getting my geos up. But I turned around and said, there is no way on earth, even if I do it, I will get what before we stop doing it. And at the end of the day, do you want one more watchard, or do you want me to focus on TW teams? Or to focus on like Seer and Cal? And I'm brutally honest about it. Technically, yeah, it's a bad teammate thing to do. That I'm not doing something to help others. But at the same time, I'm doing everything else to help everybody else. So it's like, you have to speak to your officers. You have to let them know, oh, this is the reason I'm not doing it. And Cram knows the reason I'm not touching geos is because, number one, I don't have the credits to spare to get them all to 85, and I don't have the gear to spare when we might be doing it for one more month. If at a later date I have reached a point where I'm just having a break from GLs, that's where I'll bump Poggle up, get his army, get them all up to at least gear 12, and that's them for the guild. And it's a case of, okay, I've done something nice for the guild. But at the same time, it's not a case of, I'm just going to help. I'm just going to do it because I can. It's more a case of, I'm very honest and open. I don't intend on doing geos. I will do them when I can, but it's one of those things in our guild. It's accepted that they know I'm not going to do geos.
Well, we don't have that much longer left in GOTB anyway. So it's really kind of, at this point, it would be a bad investment for you unless you're really going for a strong Pogglekron team for Territory Wars.
Yeah.
But this does kind of lead into what my next point will be as well. And this is the final one here. And I think it's probably the most important one on my list as well, is to just be engaged with your guild. Most guilds, good guilds, always 100% are going to have a Discord where we're talking about things for the guild that we want to work on. We're tagging players, trying to keep things moving in events. And if you're somebody, maybe you're not a big Discord user, you can always just change it to @mentions only. But I really think to get the best out of your guild, you need to be in guild, engage with what the guild is doing, and have them saying things, get involved in the conversation, and just know what they want from you. Things like when new raids are announced, that's a big thing that we're talking about in our guild, is what we're going to build. Territory war defenses, obviously, how to set those up, and having people involved in that conversation just helps it so much, as opposed to those people who are going to get tagged a million times in chat saying, hey, do your raid, do your raid, do your raid.
Yeah.
That's the person that we're looking to replace in the guild. Yeah. You don't want to be that person.
So the simple way I look at it is, if you communicate with your guild officers, great. They will love you. If you're communicating internally in the guild, so it's not just you're talking to the officers, you're talking to each other, even better, because they can see you're active. Now, you might not want to be active on Discord, that's fine. But you get tagged and you say, oh, can you do your raid? It's like, we've got people we're waiting on, our raid finishes today. Now, this morning, first message I saw in our guild chat was, can people please do their raid? Now, this account had already done his raid. I'd already got to 3.5 million. I was happy on this account. However, the alt account, which is sat just beneath me at the moment, hadn't done anything. So the first thing I did this morning was, oh, I've not done the alt yet. I'll get on with the alt. I got the alt done. And then I went back to that post and I think I've either thumbs upped it or fired it or something along that lines. So they know, number one, you've seen it, and number two, you've responded to it.
I like that.
And it's like, you've just interacted once. Now, that's an officer that's gone out of his way to, it was just a mass message, that one. Since then, we have tagged people. And it's like, you don't want to get to the stage where you're getting tagged every single week. Because, yes, we've got a couple of guys that do wait till late because we're currently working on teams that are affected by it. Like for this one, I'm working on Han. I know I'm not going to get him to R8 this time, but I got him to R7. That will do for now. So that's when I did it. I knew the rest of the teams weren't getting touched. I did it there and then. And it's more making sure you're not the one being tagged, because the more your name gets tagged, the more your officers are going to remember, oh, he's not doing the raid. And you don't want to be in that position, because we've had guys that are in the position where they are getting tagged regular, and they're still good guildmates because they do get it done. But we had one the other day where he was worried that we were talking and potentially going to replace him. And that wasn't going to happen because he still does the raid. It's just he's not active on Discord. He doesn't talk much on Discord. He talks more on streams. And I've even said to him, there's no point in you worrying about it because your name doesn't come up. Yes, we have to tag you, but the worry that you should have is if you're getting tagged every single day for some reason, that's where you should be going, oh, I might be in trouble here. And I hate to say it. I hate to say it in general, but you need to make sure you're seeing what your guild's doing, seeing if there's anything you can help them with. And if there is something you can help them with, just help them. Because being a good guildmate is not just do the teams and do the raids and do the TBs and TWs. The communication is probably one of the biggest parts.
Biggest in my opinion, for sure. I think we've kind of covered everything that I had here today, Womp. Anything you want to say to take us home?
Yeah, so I'm going to say all three of them are brilliant points. Absolutely brilliant points. The only one that you did miss is support your own guild. If your guild's trying to do something, trying to plan to do something, or there's a couple of them that are in the guild doing extra bits and pieces here, there, and everywhere, support them. It may not cost you anything. It may cost you 10 minutes in time. It may cost you an hour in time. But it's like, it goes a big difference. It's like with this here, I stream near enough every day. I know you, I know Norm, I know Winter, I know a couple of others. Just jump on. They'll be in the background. They may never say anything during the whole stream, but they're there. And it just helps with a little bit of morale. So a little bit of guild morale goes a long, long way.
Amen.
Right. Anyway, everybody, thank you very much for your time today. This video will be up on YouTube. It was filmed on Twitch. The chat for Twitch is always down. We're always on Twitch the same time every day, apart from Wednesdays. But feel free to join us. And as you can see, there are commands. So we'll read out the last one because it's Cram that has put it up. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you haven't finished your dailies, your guild officer is looking for you. And I can't finish on a more fitting note. Do your 600s a day. All right, everybody, goodbye.